Here are a few tips on how to gain muscle and lose fat with a busy schedule. So today I'm going to be talking about a few tips that I've used to gain muscle, gain strength, and lose fat during medical school. And I know other people who have busier schedules than me, either in medical school, as a doctor, or in other demanding careers, have used to make progress towards their fitness goals. And so the first tip that I talked about actually in one of my previous videos, 6 reasons why you're not losing fat, is to set goals. And ideally you want to set a goal to gain muscle, lose fat, or even maintain. Maintaining can be a good goal, especially if you're more advanced and your schedule's suddenly gotten a lot busier. So obviously you want to be realistic with your goals, how much time you have, how much energy you can put into your goals, and how far away you are from the goals. If you're just starting and you're really out of shape, you're probably not going to be competing at some world-class level in the next year. So try to tailor your goals obviously to your stage in your fitness journey, and also making sure to incorporate specificity into your goals. For example, if you're trying to get a certain physique like a fitness model, you probably want to train more of a bodybuilding style, versus if you're trying to just get really strong at a few lifts, you may want to do something like Olympic weightlifting or powerlifting, strongman, or other things like that. Setting a goal helps you stay on track and helps you also stay more on track even if you get off track a little bit. So if you have a cheat day and you have a goal of losing fat, you'll probably be more likely to not cheat as much as if you would have done if you didn't have a goal at all. So the next tip that's kind of related is to have progress markers that you track. And I talked about this as well in a previous video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But I think it's important to, one, cater this to your personality type. So if you like collecting a lot of data and analyzing all that data, maybe you'll collect information on everything. But if you're not big into data, I'd recommend tracking a few things like how many calories you're eating, maybe your macronutrient ratios ideally, your lift numbers, especially if you're into things like powerlifting or other strength sports, your body composition, maybe progress pictures of your body, so you can track your body progression over time and how it looks, especially if you're more into physique or aesthetic goals. And tracking your progress is just a nice way to have a metric or different metrics that you're measuring over time that you can use to see how you're progressing, use as a source of motivation when you're not feeling like putting in the work that you need to do. And it's also a nice way to look back on your accomplishments and see how far you've come. So the next big thing is nutrition. I think for nutrition you need to try to make sure to cater your nutrition kind of regimen towards your personality type and also whatever goals you're going towards and what level you're at. So you don't have to be as precise if you're just starting out and you're really overweight as opposed to a person who's trying to compete for like a physique show in a few weeks. Personally, I recommend counting calories and macronutrients so you can alter those depending on your performance and your goals and how you're progressing. I'm a huge fan of meal prepping on weekends, so I think this is valuable since it saves time cooking meals, washing dishes, even looking for food, and you even save money when you go out and buy in bulk. So this is a great way to save money, save time, and also have your meals laid out, especially during the week when you're busy and you're stressed out and you're more likely to make poor food choices. If you're not into meal prepping every single meal, what you can do is cook up portions of proteins and vegetables, maybe some healthy carbs, and have some healthy fats as well. And by having these healthier supplies of food options, you can just pick out whatever you like during the week and you'll still be eating healthier and more in line with your goals than if you hadn't prepped at all. If you don't want to do any kind of prep at all, what you can do is I'd recommend trying to find healthy options in line with your goals at different locations near you, so you don't have to waste time during the week looking at foods in things like MyFitnessPal or other applications and trying to figure out what foods are in line with your goals and what foods you can fit into your nutrition for that day. So ultimately, regardless of whatever type of nutrition system you decide to implement, you want to try to vary things like your eating windows, whether you're going to fast part of the day or not, the different types of fruits and vegetables and other food options that you're trying to incorporate. If you don't like certain vegetable like broccoli, you can always switch it out for something else that you like more. Even if a certain nutrition plan you find online or someone recommends you has that food item, there isn't something magical about any specific food item usually. So just mix and match things however you like, experiment with everything, and as long as it's a healthy food and a healthy type of dieting, you should be fine over the long term. Next, for exercise, I also recommend catering the exercise to your specific goals and preferences. I do think it's important to have both resistance training and cardiovascular activity in your exercise plan, and I'll link down below the American College of Sports Medicine's recommendations if you want to follow that for health benefits or overall benefits. However, my personal training focuses a little bit more on resistance training since those are more in line with my goals and my preferences. So for resistance training, you can choose various things. Like I like to do more of a powerlifting slash strength-based lifting. So you can do things like powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, bodybuilding, any kind of resistance training forms you like. Ideally, you'd also have cardio. This could be like traditional things like going on the treadmill, going out for a run. But I like to do something more sports-based. So I like to do things like basketball, but it's up to you really, whatever you like, and whatever will get you in the gym actually doing that cardio. Especially when your time is really limited, I recommend focusing on your compound exercises. So these are multi-joint, multi-muscle exercises that are highly efficient and work multiple movement patterns and muscle groups at one time. So doing something like a weighted pull-up is more efficient than doing a dumbbell pullover plus a bicep curl plus a rear delt fly. You're able to work pretty much the same muscle groups at once with one exercise, and obviously you're going to save more time. So try to find compound exercises in line with whatever muscle groups you're trying to hit, and you'll be able to target more muscles, lift more weight, and make greater progress over time. There is a place for isolation movements, but especially when you're limited on time, you want to focus on those big hitters, the high yield, high efficient compound exercises. So these are going to be things like pull-ups, dips, presses, bench, rows, squats, deadlifts, things like that. So personally, I recommend hitting muscle groups 2 to 3 times a week, and a lot of other people advocate the same thing, a lot of fitness experts. So if you're only going to be able to work out once a week or twice a week or even 3 times a week, you probably want to err on the side of a more full body routine. So the fewer days per week that you can work out and the less amount of time you can work out per those sessions, you need to work more towards that full body compound based routine to make as much gains as possible. Personally, I think if I'm really short on time, what I do is something like a squat, a pulling movement like a row, and a pushing movement like a bench. And those 3 things pretty much cover your whole body, and you can do that in an efficient way. I'd also recommend using techniques like daily undulating periodization, where you don't just go heavy low reps on every exercise in one day. You'll maybe go heavy on one thing on one day, and if you have other days that you can train, you train that thing at a lower intensity and increase the intensity in something else. So maybe one day you're going heavier on your row exercise, and the next day, if you're training maybe 2 or 3 times a week, you might do your row at a lower weight but a higher reps, so get more volume in one day and getting more intensity in on another day. You can also use different set extending techniques like supersets, where you alternate movements like antagonist movements like a row and a bench, or a pull down and a press. Or you can even just do things like shortening your rest times to get more workout volume in the same amount of time, so you have more exercise density. I can make a video for you guys if you want on different set extending techniques if you'd like. So my next tip is to be flexible. I know personally I'm usually kind of an on or off kind of person in regards to my goals. So if I can't have everything or the situation perfect, I don't want to do it at all. And I notice a lot of people have the same hang-ups with their fitness goals, but especially in busy careers like medicine, law, whatever you're in, you're going to have a hard time having everything perfect, and there'll be a lot of times where maybe you have to work extra, where your schedule is super busy, maybe other life stuff happens and you're not able to devote as much time to fitness, or you have injuries, all kinds of things, but the situation will never be ideal. So the best way to make progress is to make the best of that situation, and even if you make some baby steps towards your fitness goals, even if you're able to just go in for like 10-20 minutes a day, take advantage of that, do as much as you can, and you're still better off doing whatever little that you could do that day, as opposed to giving up completely and making zero or even negative progress. So remember, a little progress will compound over time and you'll be closer to your fitness goals than if you had just given up completely. So my next tip would be to take advantage of your downtime. So these small moments of time you have throughout the day, maybe it's 5-10 minutes, maybe it's more, maybe it's half an hour that you have throughout the day that you're not as productive as you could be. You can use that time to either do multiple things, where, for example, let's say you're doing laundry, you can also try to listen to a lecture if you're in school, and that way you're able to learn some information while you're doing something kind of mindless. You can do that also when you're washing dishes or doing some other kind of not very mentally intensive task. Usually when people come home from work or school, I know I'm usually really tired, I just want to relax and watch some YouTube. Some people want to go on Netflix or play video games, go on their social media, but that amount of time you can use for things like getting a quick workout in, prepping your meals for the same day or the next day, and taking advantage of these small amounts of time is one of the characteristics that I've seen people who are successful with their careers and who have busy careers and lives do to stay on top of their fitness goals. So a few extra tips. One would be to make fitness a daily part of your daily routine. So for example, exercising at a certain time, maybe 5 a.m. in the morning before work every day, and eating certain meals around the same time every day with similar types of foods. Doing these things helps ingrain certain behavior patterns into your mind and allows you to save time and mental energy throughout the day. So usually we wake up with a fixed amount of willpower every day, and our willpower is depleted when we try to force ourselves to do different things. And when fitness or other behaviors become routine, you don't have to tap into that willpower resource that you have. And since things are automatic, you're able to focus that willpower that you would have spent on fitness on your career. Or for example, if you're trying to work out or eat healthy after your workday, if it's a routine, you're more likely to just go to the gym right away, come home, eat a healthy meal. But if you're not used to working out right after work and eating a healthy meal, you'll be tired from the day of work, and it'll be harder for you to go to the gym and eat healthy. So try to make the fitness behaviors that are trying to adopt a routine, and it'll be a lot easier for you to stick with them. And next, don't keep junk food around so you're not tempted. I know if I have junk food around, if I'm trying to eat really healthy, I want to cheat on my diet diet, and I know a lot of people are like that, so try not to keep junk food around. I know if you're living with other people it might be hard, especially if they're not on your fitness journey with you, but trying to do so as much as possible really helps stay on track. Next, I recommend finding positive outlets for your stress, especially with busy, demanding careers. You're going to have a lot of stress, and food is a quick, easy way to get that dopamine boost to feel a little bit better about your life, maybe as a form of escapism. So by having hobbies or social activities or other things that allow you that dopamine boost, you're able to not have to turn to food for that dopamine boost. So try to find other hobbies or things that you can do as a reward or just as a means of escape from whatever stresses that you're facing, so you don't have to turn to food, and I think that really helps a lot. So lastly, I recommend sleeping well. If you don't get enough sleep, this raises your cortisol and messes up a lot of hormones and pathways in your body, and this leads to things like having increased desire for junk food, just increased desire for more food in general, even if your body doesn't need it as much. It reduces the quality of your recovery and your overall performance during the day on mental tasks, on physical tasks, and it reduces the amount of muscle and strength that you can gain. It also has negative effects when you're trying to lose fat. So definitely try to sleep well, and that'll help you on your fitness goals in many ways, and not just on your fitness goals, but even your career. So those are a few techniques that I used to gain muscle, gain strength, and lose fat during medical school, during times when I'm busy. Let me know down below in the description box if you have any tips that you'd recommend for me or for anyone else watching that have helped you maybe, and that might help others on their journey. Make sure to like this video, comment down below, hit the notification bell as well. Subscribe if you haven't, and I hope this helped. Have a good day. Oh man, I think the camera is tilted. Sideways. I'm sideways. Jeffrey Dallas.